Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine and Real Estate.
Oui, bonsoir.
Yes, bonsoir. So we're having some wine with a very special guest joining us from the United States. So nice and warm, I'm sure, compared to here in Ottawa. It was about minus 20, which is -4 in Fahrenheit. So
that is cold.
Yes. So nice and cold.
Okay, you win.
There you go.
Chicago is also very cold right now, which is 20 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but also cold. So
close to zero, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. We don't need to know. We're not here to be scientists. It's fine. Yeah. But I'm with you. We're going to bundle up this winter.
Absolutely. Yes. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. And tonight our guests will notice it's a bit different. So we're going to talk more about social media and wine, canned wine. So this is really cool. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yes. Yes. So why don't you introduce yourself for people who don't know who is Shaily?
Shaily.
Oh, I so appreciate it. You're so sweet. Yes. Who is Shaily? Okay, so Shaily Hakimian, that's me. My whole world is, they call me your social media Sherpa. I help bridge the world of business that I'm sure your people know. I think I'm just listening to all the past episodes. It sounds like a lot of your people depend on their network to get more business, to get more investors, it sounds like, from what I've learned about your industry. And a lot of times, it's like, how do you make sure that your referral reputation isn't just word of mouth? How can you make someone who's a total stranger who doesn't know you yet get all of that good karma based on what they see of you online? Look, I'm gonna tell you this. I looked you up beforehand, right? You added me on LinkedIn. Sure. I get to see your profile. Even before we met here, I have a good understanding of who you are because you've put information out there for the world. But that might not be the case for someone else who is a complete mystery to people if they stalk you on the internet, which they are doing. So I want to make them stand out. Yes. So that's my world. But you know what, you say it's creepy, but like every time we get on a dating app, we look at people up on their social media. Every time we want to hire someone, we look up their LinkedIn, or we like see what weird debauchery exists on the internet.
Yeah.
We do that all the time. When we see a new tenant, we look them up on Facebook. We try to find them.
For that.
100%. So you got to make sure that when they read who you are on the internet, that you have painted a beautiful picture of who you are. Maybe you told them your story. Maybe you tell them what kind of deals you do. I'm just guessing here on the real estate world here. You want to tell them a little bit about what your specialty is, whatever it is. You want to make it super obvious to the new person. Maybe some things. The other thing I always tell people, like, what makes you special? It's like, you have a wine thing, wine and real estate. Like, that's super specific. Right? So you want to make that story crystal clear, because if you meet another wine person, y'all can talk about wine all day, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a commonality. So that's a taste of what I do. And I also help people stay in touch with the people that they serve. So a lot of my people are connectors, they're networkers, they have a huge reputation, but like they don't stay in touch with the people, because maybe you have a deal today, but your investor from 6 months ago would be perfect for it. But if they don't remember to even check in with you or even think about you, that you exist, how are you going to remember that you can get in touch with them, right? So anyway, that's a piece of my puzzle, and that's a taste for today. But yeah, be unforgettable in 100 days. That's what I help you do.
Oh, nice. I love that. I should have you on. I launched a coaching program to help investors. So you'd be perfect to motivate, because a lot of people are shy about being more active on social media. And that's how you attract any industry. But for us, we need money lenders, joint venture partners. We need deals. We need different things. And how do people know? I mean, it's not like you can, especially in Canada right now, you can't really meet people in person. So
hard
online. So there you go. So how do you do that? Do you have some tips? Like what's your strategy? You drink lots of wine?
But before we get into that strategy, I don't drink a lot. But I'm going to pretend I'm a wine expert, because I'm absolutely not. But I got my variety. I've got this house wine. Okay.
Ooh.
They donate to charity, the Human Rights Campaign, which I used to volunteer for them, and they donated money to get me drunk today. So I was like, ooh, this is something exciting. As someone who doesn't drink, I was like, let me go for the pretty packaging, because that's what wine experts do, right? They're like, pretty packaging. No,
totally.
Just kidding. I've got my bougie on a budget wine that I don't think I'm going to drink this tonight, but it exists, called Flirty Bird. And then my favorite, the Long Island iced tea. Now you might be saying, why is that wine? How is this wine? I heard wine, but if you look very closely on the bottle, it says wine cocktail. For anybody who's listening, it says wine cocktail. So it is wine. That's what the people in France said. This is wine. So $1 from the store. So
Wow.
so I know, right? I'm an expert. Let me educate you on wine here. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if this is going to be good. I'm sure you're an expert, but we're going to cheers to this and then I'll tell you more.
If you pass out, we'll know it's not good.
Look, I'm a lightweight. This interview is going to change throughout. Cheers. We say l'chaim, salud, salamati, all my people. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. L'chaim, all the things.
L'chaim, yeah, that's perfect. Are you Jewish?
I'm Jewish, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
This is great. I don't know how you would think of this, but I'm like into this right now. It's
what kind of a red is it? Is it
limited edition rosé bubbles?
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so I see the can now makes more sense. Perfect.
Apparently, but it's cool. It's like a can for equality, right? So my background, I used to do a lot of LGBT related activism for many, many years. So I'm like, let's bring some pride into this. Why not?
Why not?
Okay, cool. So you wanted some nuggets because I know you have this core. You have two things. You have that free Facebook group, then you also have that VIP program, right? And they're all looking for insights.
Oh wow, you really paid attention.
Oh no, I paid attention. It sounds fabulous. So a lot of people, like I think you were telling me, like people are scared to put themselves out there, right?
Totally.
Just looking at some other profiles I was looking at. I know you sent me a few profiles a few months ago of people in your industry, but sometimes people are like, oh, look at me, I got this award. Look at me, I did this thing. Oh, look at this fancy deal I got. I don't know if they're doing it that way, but it's like so there's people who are shy. They're like, I don't want to show off. I don't want to be one of those people who's annoying and weird and too show offish because it's awkward for people. But what you can share is like, tell me how you got into the business. Dumbest thing in the world. What is your story, right? Like I know you said in the last show I listened to, you're like, I did marketing and I did sales and now I want to help other people and all this good stuff, right? There's a story there. So people want to know, and that's the simplest thing you can do. The other thing is answer the frequently asked questions that every single one of your, potential prospects or I guess investors might have. Tell me more. One of the accounts you showed me did a really good job about doing that in her Instagram feed. It doesn't matter what the platform is. Just showcasing that is a huge thing because now somebody can look at your page and understand who you are like that and know why they need to call you. So that's a taste to start.
And I like it when people know you that way. Like we've met, it's happened a lot. Jennifer gets to witness that people come and they know our story. They know about our kids and things. We're like, oh, this is a little scary, but positive at the same time because you don't have to repeat it. They already know you, but we don't know them. So it's a weird gap, but I'm like, well, I guess you know us. So what about you? And it makes the conversation interesting and we get to learn about like you, Shaily. So that's great.
It's exactly right. And back in the day, it used to be phone calls. Oh, we got to get on the phone and sell or talk or, oh, you told me, oh, you know this person. Oh, I should go call this. But like all you had is that 30-minute phone call. Now they can spend 2 hours looking at your stuff and be like, this is my person.
Yeah, right? Or not, which is good too.
Or not.
Sometimes it's
right?
good part ways. It's not, we're not meant to be perfect. That's fine. There's like billions on the planet. We're fine.
Like go off on your weary way, right?
Yes.
That's a huge one.
Social media.
Oh, this is a weird. Here's the story of my dorky childhood. So yeah, I know you're ready for it here. So me, I was like a dorky kid. I didn't have really a lot of friends in middle school. I like essentially made my friends in high school on MySpace on the internet.
MySpace, my goodness. So how old are you?
30, I just turned 30 and a half. Let's go with 30 and a half.
You're very young. Okay. MySpace, I guess, was more in the US. We only heard about it in the movies and stuff here.
Oh, it was a thing.
Okay.
Like it brought people together. I even asked my mom, like as a 17, 16-year-old, can I meet my friends from the internet? She's like, yeah, sure. Even though she was terrified, but I trusted her enough to tell her that, right? So I found my friends. How nerdy do you want to get here? Because I can get real nerdy here.
Yeah, get very nerdy. Go all out.
Okay. My nerdy hobby is I play online versions of the shows Big Brother and Survivor. Have you heard of those shows?
Yes.
So we play them on the computer. It's like real weird. And so that's where I found my friends on MySpace who like the same hobby as me. Now, how does this get to social media? Our community didn't have a community leader. Like you're the leader of your group. I was the lead. I was like, I'm going to be the leader of this community. So I created a MySpace group to like put all our people together. Just like people have, you have a Facebook group, right? Yeah. So I created like the pseudo Facebook group on MySpace for our nerds. And they looked at me as a leader, as a 15-year-old. And I was like, okay. I forgot about this whole thing ever happening. I was out of college. It was a long time later. And I was applying to like an internship. And they were like, have you ever managed online communities before? And I was like, wait a second. I feel like I have. Did it hit you too? Because I was like, MySpace. I was doing that on MySpace. So I didn't tell them how nerdy I was, and I like added it to my resume, and I like made it very vague. I was like, I manage an online community for people who like to play games or something. I don't know. And they were like, yeah, sure, you're hired. And so from there, I started freelancing, and eventually I was trying to get more freelancing clients. You know about BNI?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was going to a BNI meeting a lot, and they were like telling them, oh, hire me for social media. And they didn't have the money to pay me. They were not the right people to pay me thousands of dollars a month to do social media. Right. I didn't know that at the time. But one of the ladies comes up to me. She's like, hey, Shaily, I get that you're good at social media. I don't think I want to hire you to do my social media. And I was like, darn. But she's like, can I just pay you to show me how to do my own social media?
Nice.
And I was like, nice indeed. I was like, of course I do that service. And immediately I created that service. I was like, I studied education in college. I love motivating people. I love being their cheerleader. And eventually, like, she paid me, and she paid me more than I ever thought I could make doing this. And I was like, I should keep going. And so like I started basically over time shifting it to specifically coaching social media. And that's what I do. And that's what pays the bills. So one thing led to another. Eventually I was called your social media Sherpa. And now I'm getting drunk with you on a podcast. So
there you go. That's how it happened.
Exactly how it happened.
I love this story. And do you have any passive income? Because with social media, do you have like downloadable stuff or money that comes in while you're sleeping or drunk, passed out, thinking about social media? Or
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. So somebody told me to do this like 6 months ago because I knew this was a thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, passive income, it's so hot!" Like, and like people tell you there's a lot of work to put in something that will give you passive income. But I did add, there's 4 offerings on my website that can buy now, and they're videos of me literally shaking you up with your marketing. So like when I was telling you, like, tell your story, tell you this, your FAQs, there's a whole thing of 10 plus questions. And if you can answer it with your content, I don't care what platform it's on, you're going to make your people really get you. So that's a video, that's like a downloadable. It's like, content ideas in a second. So
awesome.
So there's that. There's a LinkedIn one, like how to do the LinkedIn algorithms, what to post, and all that kind of stuff. Very easy stuff. What about how to do Facebook events and how to make them more successful? There's a whole bunch of goodies on there, and they're all like under like $100. So people can download those, and it's very nice. Like somebody bought one, and I was like, I didn't have to do anything. The video is already in their hands. Like I'm done. So goals. But don't get me wrong, I listened, like real estate has been a tease because I was like, ooh, this whole house hacking, like living in a unit and then renting out the other one. I was like, that sounds fantastic. But I'm a millennial in the States and that's expensive. And not millennials, we don't got any of the wealth in this country. So goals. Y'all are gonna get me there, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, seriously, when I started real estate investing, I did not have a high-paying job. Like I was making 35,000 a year Canadian. So in US, that's like 27,000, I guess. Right. And our taxes are much higher, so you pay a lot more taxes here.
You get healthcare though, so that's good.
Yeah, we have healthcare, so we can be sick all the time, and it's sort of free-ish.
So you got taxed real bad, and you were in the bottom. It sounds like, okay, what happened next? How did you get here?
So we still managed to buy a property. So the banks here are very picky, but we had our house and a rental property, and Jennifer was working as well. So it's shocking. I mean, you live in Chicago, so it's a more expensive market, but
cheaper than New York and San Francisco. Let me tell you that.
There you go.
Thank goodness.
Illinois is a crazy state for investments. There's tons of opportunities. So you could buy and still rent. So I would buy in a smaller town. Someone that pays you to live in your swanky, nice loft that you're living downtown. I don't know.
I have a friend who's doing that right now.
That's the smartest thing ever. So more and more people in Canada, like they live in Toronto or Vancouver, very expensive cities. They rent. But they buy rental properties that pay for their expensive city lifestyle. So
goals.
2 cents.
Goals. It's a goal. I've looked at the multi units. I'm like, I want something in the city. And then I'm like, ugh. But I didn't think about going out to the boondocks and like trying to get something far away. Ooh, goals. My dad, I think I mentioned this. My dad he's done a lot of real estate investing over a long time. He's been in America for a long time, and he's done all sorts of crazy things, and it's very interesting. So it's in my head. I've been binging real estate TikTok like crazy.
Well, there's so much in there. That's crazy. So we've been wanting to get into TikTok. I just can't. I can't do the dance and stuff. And
you don't do the dance. Who said you have to do the dance? You do not have to do the dance. People want education. If you could educate people on something that they want to know about, you get addicts like Shaily scrolling through your content all day.
So what would you do to help someone get started on TikTok? I'm 41. Jennifer is much, much younger, 18 days younger. So
that's so cute.
She always tells me I'm ancient compared to her, so that's okay. But for an old guy on TikTok, like how do you get it? My daughter tried, and I have a virtual assistant. She tried. I'm like, I don't get it.
So before we even get to TikTok, right? TikTok is very generous with their views, potentially. If you can play with it, good things can happen. But here's the thing. You have a huge network, right? Both of you. You know a lot of people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Have you invited people, like manually said, hey, I have, even if it's a TikTok or something, have you invited your network to like whatever pages you want them to see more of?
No.
That's step one.
There you go. So we missed step one.
Let's
drink to that.
Well, step one, do it, but don't do it to an empty account. You want to do it to an account that has content. So I don't know. You have other pages. You have a Facebook group. You have first off, get the right people to be in the right place. So you have an instant audience. If you can invite them, like my following, I have like 400 people. I don't do a lot on TikTok, but I'm there because I joined TikTok in 2016. It was called Musical.ly. So every single person that joined after me will automatically be like, hey, Shaily's already here. Let me like her because she's the one person I know on this platform, which automatically gave me an audience of people that know and love me. So it doesn't matter how good my content is. I have an agency I used to work with. Her content doesn't get as hard. Now she knows how to do social media. She's been doing it for so long, but she didn't start early. So it took her so much more work to get any traction on there. So step one, play around with content. Maybe what are the 5 questions that you get all the time? I don't know. What are you trying to promote? The coaching?
Yeah. I could talk about the coaching, why like a coach helped us change our lives. And so good idea. So tomorrow from the hot tub, I'm going to do a TikTok.
I mean, try it. I would say this, make like 5 or 10 videos. Now, granted, there's TikTok coaches that'll tell you very detailed specifics. But if you can make 5,
I can't do that.
Don't do that. You don't want that yet. You're not ready for it. You don't need to do the nitty gritty. But if you can make 5 videos over the next, like 1 a week, if you want to do 1 a day, do something you can maintain and sustain. Because if you don't like doing it, you're not going to do it. Because the TikTok people will say, oh, you have to do 3 a day and you have to stick with it. I'm like, but that's a lot of work. Like that might not be your battle today. But if you can make like 5 videos that you think your people that you know and love would appreciate the information, and then you invite them to check out those videos, that's education to them. And that's automatically helpful to you without going viral. It means that your people are going to be better educated in a fun way. Hey, I always get asked how to hire a coach or why did I get coach? Like, just answer those questions. Like, what are the things that these people need to know? And you can put 5 or 10 of them on there, and that's easy education. You can just drop the link to whoever you want, and that's an instant audience. Now, if you want to continue doing more, I would say do it consistently, but that's a few steps down the line.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
This podcast. So Jennifer had the idea. Our virtual assistant actually brought back the first episode.
Ooh,
and it was called Wine and Investment or Investments. I don't know. It didn't have a nice ring.
I definitely invested in some
wine and real estate.
Yes.
Wine and real estate.
But this thing as well. So we are doing it once a week, and we had trouble making it to 3 minutes. That's how it was. And then we grew up more and more. And now let's have some guests. I think that was your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jennifer said, let's invite people.
Let's make them talk.
That's it. Leverage people. You leverage money, so let's leverage our guests. So Shaily, can you fill that space? And
me talking? No, I don't like talking. I am just gonna hide away and be quiet where I am. No, but that's what it is. Like if you have a good network, like the whole epitome of this, if you can match the people you serve to where you put out information they're dying to have. And then the next step is doing it consistently. You're in good shape. Now, consistently, an Instagram person, but you have to post 3 pictures every week or 5 reels every day. Like probably, but like that's not your battle. But if you have the 30 best people that love and adore your business that get to see that on a regular basis, what a magical way to stay in touch with people when you don't get to see them all the time. Now, there's a million platforms. You don't have to be everywhere, but like pick your battles, right? Or send them to your assistant. But you can also snip this show into less than 3 minutes. I've seen there's another really cool show that always has them on TikTok, and they do it. Now, there's a lot of ways to do it. I don't know, repurposing on TikTok's a little weird, but it could be helpful.
It ends up being like this small.
Yeah, it's a little weird. So maybe, I don't know, play with it, but I don't know if that's the best battle, but like good information in front of good people means good relationship building, which you know this from your amazing careers. So
So you have to tell us, what is a social media Sherpa?
Yeah.
So-
What is a Sherpa?
That's it. It sounds like you're sharing, I don't know, comment on dit mouton? Sheep.
Sheep.
Well, so Sherpas, so there's the Sherpas are they're the people in the Himalayas that help you get up the mountain, to help guide you, to make sure you don't get lost or misstep and all that kind of good stuff. So the name was to honor kind of how they are guides for people. And that is essentially what I do, right? Like, I am a guide for people. Is that a lot of people are like, I want to do this social media thing, but I'm a little lost and I'm a little stuck. And they're getting overwhelmed by everyone saying post here, post there. And like, I want to make that easier. My background's in education. I'm a teacher. Is that my job isn't to just jam, like, I think there's certain courses where it's like, do this in one particular way. And I'm like, yeah, that worked for the leader who's putting out that content, but how do you make the content accessible to the person and who they are, right? Like, yeah, maybe somebody really loves Instagram Reels and they're going to teach you a course and they're going to sell it to you. But like, if you're not a person that likes to be on camera, that's going to be a nightmare for you. So how do you take... See, it's already that, right? But like, I have a client right now who doesn't like video, but he likes writing. And I'm like, well, how can I help you do the thing that you like, which is writing, and help you put it in front of the right people? And so I'm guiding people in a way that kind of works for them and their abilities, right? Like, you wouldn't want to take someone like me who's got asthma and try to run up the mountain, because I will faint and I will, but like, maybe somebody who walks me up the hill slow and steady is going to be a lot better. Never used it that way before, but it's totally true. I want people to be accessible. I want it to be relevant to them. And I think this client, the same client, he was like, I want it to feel authentic to me. I'm like, yeah, let's make it for you, because there's a million ways to do social media, but I want to find the way that they're not only going to like feel capable of doing, but they can sustain and actually even enjoy. So it's very adapted to the person while also keeping them in the bounds of the internet. So that's what a Sherpa does in my business.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's such a good point that you just made, because there, like you said, there's a million ways to do social media and there's so many platforms. It can be so overwhelming. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness.
LinkedIn recently.
Yeah,
I love LinkedIn. It's my baby.
I told she didn't know who to follow. I'm like, well, follow Shaily. She's got some
I just started following Shaily on LinkedIn. But I wasn't sure. I'm really not even sure still what to do on LinkedIn. So
LinkedIn is like one of my, like, so I say I'm not platform specific, but one of my expertise is LinkedIn. One of my clients.
What do you like about it?
What do I love about it is that it lets me stay top of mind with my business network, and it gives you a lot of attention to strangers too, which is really fun. One of the things I do, one of my clients is a coach, and she's like a sales coach and a marketing coach, and I coach her 200 some consultants on how to get more business on LinkedIn. So that is also something I've been doing for 2.5 years with her clients too.
Wow.
So I live for it. But with LinkedIn, it used to stay top of mind with my network. And also we vet people, right? Like, who are the mutual friends that I have when I look you up? It's like, oh, if they know so-and-so, they must be a big deal, right?
Yeah, or not.
Or not. Or like they're friends with all these like, annoying people, like
exactly. Delete.
But it tells you a lot about people, right? Like, I remember like, totally side note, I was at a networking event for nonprofits like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And there was a very important CEO of like this very major nonprofit there. And I looked her up on LinkedIn, and she's friends with like the bougiest people I know, like real like nonprofit people. Reputation is like insane, because you're nonprofit. It's like nonprofit world. Nobody's got money, but like if you work for a certain organization, you got status. And I was like, well, I know within 30 seconds, I'm like, I know this person, I know this person, I know this person. So she immediately knows this girl ain't fucking around. Excuse my language. I don't know if I can swear on here. And pardon my French. Here we go. So she's like, oh yeah, you should meet so-and-so. And within like a 2-minute conversation, she had introduced me to someone that became a really nice contact that I have known ever since, because I was able to leverage that. So there's a million things I can tell you about LinkedIn. It is, and it's also like a billboard for your life, right?
Yeah. And I love some of the new features. I joined LinkedIn, I think in 2009. And back then, kind of like you with TikTok or Musical.ly, you were an early adopter. So LinkedIn, I was sort of.
I love it. Yeah. Spill the tea. Yeah.
There you go. But I like some of the features, like the publishing and things. So you can, like this podcast here, we can extract the audio, turn it into like an article in LinkedIn. Is that something that you use? Do you find it's good, or?
So look, this is what I'll always say too. The algorithms will change. What LinkedIn likes one day, they might not like the next day. So I always try to like think of like who my audience is. And what they're going to appreciate. I don't know. Articles sometimes do well, sometimes they don't. Sometimes LinkedIn picks them up and promotes them. What people love is that like So I guess it's like a weird hack that you can use on any platform, is that like if you can pull people in. So I see a lot of people, especially with podcasts, they'll say, I interviewed Shaily Hakimian and she was talking about this. And like it's it's like not specific in terms of the solution, but if you can pull me in and say, hey, find out how you can fix your LinkedIn profile in 5 minutes, check out this video, and then they click see more, then you can give them the rest of the content. I think a lot of people, they don't hook you with your content. So if you do write an article, like what makes them want to click and look in more? That's something that I would look at for any type of content. I think right now, text posts seem to do very well. Generally, polls for some reason are doing very, very well.
Oh yeah, they're popular.
But they're also getting kind of annoying because people are exploiting the fact. And I'm like, but the polls are cool because let's say you want to vet your audience. I asked a poll like a few months ago because I'm going to jump on the bandwagon before everyone else does. And I was like, how do you feel about social media? Like, I love it. I hate it. I need help or whatever. So I could actually see the people who said like, I'm panicked and I'm stressed out. Who do you think I might reach out to?
Those people, there you go.
I don't know if people realize that they're not anonymous. So
no.
So that's something else to keep in mind. But there is longevity of content. You can display your content up high. So if it is a really relevant article, it's a great way to pull people to your website or whatever else you want to go, to a phone call or whatever goals you have as a business. I can talk all day on this. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you know a lot about it.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And then the live video stuff, they're adding more and more. So
I think
it's really overlooked, LinkedIn, by a lot of people. So they see TikTok, they see Instagram and Facebook. That's great, and YouTube. But LinkedIn is where, like, for our industry, it's where the money is. Like all the
every industry. There was somebody who told me that of all the social media platforms, the average net worth on LinkedIn, and it's probably like 4 or 5 years ago when I heard this, was like $70K a year. Everything else was like 30 or 40K.
Wow.
So you're not wrong. Your industry is on the money. The money is in LinkedIn. Yeah. And LinkedIn hasn't buried people yet. I think a lot of these platforms, you lose your organic reach really quickly.
Yeah,
LinkedIn is very slow about it. So there's a lot of chances to meet new people too. So that's another nugget. Always telling folks. And it helps people figure out who you are. It gives you longevity. It gives you so much more goodness. It does. I'm like, anyway, so one of the things I also do, I have a collection of my favorite LinkedIn profiles on my website. You can just download them. It's like a bunch of really good examples of profiles that I liked, and it'll let somebody get ideas of like, oh, this person did this. I like that. Let me add this. Let me add that. People like, what do I post? What do I add? And there's career seekers in there. There's businesses in there. There's like high school students in there. So you can see what really good examples look like.
What is your website? Awesome. Let me add it at the bottom here.
Oh, it is yoursocialmediasherpa.com. I got it. Oh, right here. Right there.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Here you go, friends. Right here.
I'll just add it at the bottom while we speak, because I think this is great stuff.
Oh, look at how
socialmediasherpa.com.
Yes.
So Jennifer, there you go. You had some questions about your LinkedIn profile.
Please, do you want me to look at it? Let's go.
I know. And mine is so bad. I just barely started, and I think I have like 20 contacts.
Starting is good. If there are 20 really good contacts, slow and steady wins the race. Do you want me to
I don't know. I just feel like so lost. I'm so much more familiar with the Facebook that I find that LinkedIn feels foreign to me. So it's like every time you're starting a new social media, like I did the same thing with Instagram.
For
years,
I started Instagram.
She said no. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the Instagram thing. It's too much. I don't know. And now I'm like always on Instagram. So
yeah. At first, like, this is weird. I don't like it. Took years, and now you're in. So LinkedIn has huge potential, and that's so great that you're sharing tips and tricks. I invite our listeners to check you out.
Yes, and I will say starting is good because, again, like I said, I was on Musical.ly a million years ago. Did I ever think it will turn into something huge? No, but because everyone followed me after, I was always recommended to people, and that's how I was able to now utilize it if I wanted to. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I see you're on creator mode, so you've already played with it extra fancy. So good for you. I'm looking at your profile right now if you want nuggets.
Oh yes, that's so funny. I have no idea what I'm doing. So tell us, Shaily, because for real estate investors that are listening, that are trying to get their name out there, what are like the 3 worst things that people are doing? Like, what's the 3 biggest mistakes?
Big no-nos.
What are the biggest no-nos? I think the thing I said earlier of like awards are fine, and like some of them have reputations. It can be helpful in some industries, but I like, but like if I'm like a person that you're trying to like, I don't know, get me to invest or what, I don't know, the goals are unique, right? If you're trying to persuade me to come join you, like I don't really care that you have an award. I want to know that you understand my problem. Yeah. And that's the thing where people don't frame content like that. It's like, oh, happy Tuesday. And I think me as a social media manager, when I was social media manager years ago, it was like, oh, it's happy siblings day, which is cute. It's because their client, whoever they serve, doesn't know what they're doing on social media. They aren't really giving them any great content to work with. So they're going to come up with something like that. That's the honest truth.
Filler material. That's all. Because that's like, I used to do social media as well, and it's a struggle. No one is ever there, and you have to figure it out.
Yes. And so actually, this is the other pet peeve. Here's the pet peeve number 2. And this is like one of my favorite things to do with clients. Is that sometimes they're like, the clients will come to me, or prospects, it'll be prospects at this point. And they're like, but I already have a social media manager. And I'm like, even better, because if you have the person, I can help both of you get more out of each other, because business owners and social media managers, they don't always speak the same language.
Nope.
Because the business owner is like, how am I going to get sales from social media? And the social media person is like, social media is not necessarily for sales. It's for relationship building so that you can drive them to sales eventually. And they don't speak the same language. And the social media manager isn't always, it's usually a young woman who isn't the most empowered because they're scared to lose their job, but they know better, but they can't say to their boss, hey, you're wrong, because their boss is like, confident, smart, has the money. And so this like dynamic, this is like, I love conflict resolution. And I'm like, this is exactly where I want to live, is to help like the social media manager realize that they need to go up to this person that they work with, pull out the content from their brain, because they can execute like no other, but they don't know what the client's like contacts really need to see. They don't know that. So you have to feel empowered enough to ask those questions. So I do this live with my clients and their social media managers all the time. And it's like my favorite thing ever, because everybody leaves so much happier and they're actually excited about social media rather than like constantly being let down. So that's number 2. What is going to be number 3? I don't know what number 3 is. Should I pull? Oh, here, can I pull one from your profile? Can I give you one feedback?
Sure.
I'll give you this. So like, it's just like a LinkedIn one. There is a banner image, right? So 0 is like the worst one is when you have nothing there. The second one is you have something pretty. Some people like to do a skyline. You've got beautiful brick, which maybe is related to the house situation. But you can also put pictures of you in action, of you doing something. Maybe you're renovating, or maybe you're with a client, or maybe you've helped someone sell something. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're doing charity work. That gives people also insights of what your vibe is like.
Yeah, it's wasted space, like that brick. So you should show you like pumping the water off the roof.
I put the bricks on yesterday. I'm like, I don't know what to put, so I put the bricks.
Perfect. That's what I'm saying. You're a level 2, right? Now we're gonna get to level 3. We're gonna keep moving. It's progress, right? You're doing it right because you have a profile. For every one of you, there's a million people that don't even have a profile. So you're doing great. I always tell I love doing LinkedIn workshops for like college students. So they hire me and they're like, help us feel better about ourselves. What do we post on LinkedIn? And so that is the biggest thing I say. Like, can you show off what makes you special? Can you show you in action? What else was I going to say? I had something else to this. But yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, show who you are. Show a little more of it. Here's what I always tell them. I tell them this. I say, I don't know, how often do you go on LinkedIn, Jennifer? Do you go every week, every month? How often do you go right now?
Well, about every week, maybe one.
Okay, every week.
Twice a week. Yeah.
Perfect. Twice. Oh, that's great. Some of these people I'm like, go every 3 months and then keep increasing.
Oh, wow.
So let's say every week when you go on, if you can add just one more little thing to your profile that helps people get a taste of who you are, you're going to have a fabulous profile in no time. And it's a lot easier than, oh no, I'm the worst. Like, that's how I built mine like 10 years ago when I got on LinkedIn. One little nugget of adjustment at a time. And you're already going on every couple times a week. Some of these people go on every month. So I'm like, okay, once a month, add something. And eventually they'll become an addict like me, who's like swiping on there like 80 times a day because, oh, LinkedIn, what's happening? So you're doing great. I promise.
One tip I have for LinkedIn I really like is, you use the messenger or the messaging app or portion. It's crazy. Yes. People answer within seconds. You can call them, email them, not a word, but there to get the ping and they're like, oh, I haven't heard this one in years. And they answer.
Can I add to this? Because I love the messaging in LinkedIn is like amazing. The other crazy hack is you can send videos on LinkedIn from your phone.
I didn't know that one.
I've closed business because literally just sending videos back and forth because it's like they're having a meeting with you. If somebody is like too busy to have a meeting with you, but you send them a personal video, they're like, oh my gosh, you made a video for me. Like, I feel so special. And then the second thing that always happens, like, how did you do that? Tell me how you did it. So I always send LinkedIn videos from your phone. There's like a button and you can press it and you can be like, hi, I'm Shaily. Like, it's a pleasure to meet you. So, or, I was thinking about you today. Huge.
Can you hand me my phone? I want to see that button.
use it with me. This is your assignment to you. And well, if they're not my LinkedIn friend, they can't send me a video, but this is my assignment to you. Send me a video, test it out.
Perfect.
And then I'll be your beta. I tell this to my clients all the time, just send me a video for practice. And then they're like, wow. So
I like the Bonjoro emails, the video emails and stuff. So it's this similar concept, but through the messenger. Wow, that's really cool. It's free.
It's free on LinkedIn. That. You don't even have to get the premium of Bonjoro to make that easier. But it's like Bonjoro. It's like Bonjoro on a budget. So
I love that. That's how I like doing things.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I see you. I see you with your your paid StreamYard account. You've got the fancy here. I see you. You use the good tools.
Yes. Well,
that's why I don't know how you did that.
No, this
just put in the work. It's fine.
But I was listening to someone, just like you said. I was watching profiles on actually LinkedIn, I think, and I saw someone with the duck in the corner. I'm like, what's this thing? StreamYard. I love it. And then I grew from there. You can do so many things. You can do so much more. I'm just kind of getting started with it, but it's great.
Sponsored by StreamYard. Subscribe today. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't pay. I don't think they paid you for this. They didn't pay you for the ad. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
They know where to send me my check. No, I'm just So the StreamYard is cool. I will tell you this. I have been waiting for LinkedIn Live for like 3 years. My favorite type of social media is live streaming, which is what we're doing it right now. I love live streaming. It's my favorite. And I used to do it on Periscope, and I'd love to see the comments and react. Like, I love that. Even this, like, we were having a conversation. It's fantastic. And I was waiting, and LinkedIn Live did not give me permission for 3 whole years. So I had show notes galore of different like show ideas, just like waiting. And they finally like made creator mode more accessible, and they finally gave more access to LinkedIn Live. So I have been starting to do my monthly LinkedIn Live show, #debate, where I get people to debate controversial topics that would appeal to a LinkedIn crowd. So
cool.
Coming soon. I think the next one I'm going to do in like, I don't know, in 2 Tuesdays at 11:45, probably. I'm going to make it like a debate, like, like to niche or not to niche, because that's like a whole other debate. And I have lots of feelings both ways. So we'll see. I did another one that the video's already online of like how personal is too personal on LinkedIn. And then another one on like our New Year's resolutions. Are they worth it? Are they good? Are they bad? And I want people to debate. I want them in the comments. So anyway, love LinkedIn Live. And I am using StreamYard. And supposedly LinkedIn is giving me and gifting me a premium of StreamYard, because I am, again, bougie on a budget. Here we go.
Well, there's so much free stuff, free software, free tool we can use now. It's incredible. While in the past you had to pay for everything, now there's a lot of freemium, so you get free stuff. Yeah, I love freemium.
I love software. Like, I will pay for lots of different software. That is like my biggest splurge in my life. Let me get more software. So I'm like bougie on a budget, but like I'll pay for like specific software is like no other. Is great. Is the best. Is the worst. I love it. So I'm glad y'all are making the most out of these tools. It makes me so happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's your favorite tool then? Like that you want to share? Like something I don't know.
So on my secret,
where's John?
Yeah.
So I have like a thing at my personal website. I have like a referral, like a page with all my like favorite referral links and like places that I love. So we met on Podmatch.
Yes. Yeah, that was great. Free.
Well, yeah, and the people who run it are like the most fantastic human beings on the planet. So Podmatch is great if you want to get on shows or be booked on shows or look for guests. Like, so great. I have a bunch of goodies on here. The one, what am I like? Here's one that's kind of fun. I don't know if you have to hire a lot of people, but if you do, this website I really like called FreeUp, they help connect you to the top 1% of like 1% of like freelancers around the world, whether it's in the Philippines, whether it's the US, whether it's Australia, Canada, wherever. And so what I like is everyone's well vetted. They give me only 3 choices of who I might want to hire. And I can always ask for more. And it makes it like, for me, like if you give me more that, like, I don't buy things on the internet because there's too many choices, but if you can make it really clear, like as much as I love Fiverr, like it's hard to like search and hunt for the person.
Too much. It's like a buffet. You just go crazy.
Like,
I'll have it all.
So FreeUp will pick like 2 or 3 people. And usually one of them is super super crystal clear from their profile that they are the person for me. And I talk to them for maybe 10 minutes sometimes. And then I'm like, yep, here you go. Their rate is usually pretty obvious. And I'm like, I need to do this very specific thing. And they're like, I can do this very specific thing. And I'm able to hire people within a few days. And I think it's a really cool platform. So that's one other thing. It's not that's actually a software, but it's a tool. YNAB is good for budgeting that I really like. Strikingly makes my website super into them. Active Campaign is really interesting for email marketing. They have great customer support. So there's a few. And then the other one I'll say is if you want to get, here's the other one. I use Calendar Hero instead of Calendly because I got it on, do you know about AppSumo yet?
Yes, yeah, I've heard about
AppSumo, y'all. It is amazing. It's the Groupon for software, but the best part is that I paid $50 for this software like a year and a half ago, and I apparently will have a lifetime deal where I never have to pay for my subscription ever again.
Whoa, so, okay, that's a deal.
It is a deal, and it's great because it's startups, right? They don't have money, but they can sell these lifetime deals and get an investment without having to get an investor. So it's really, really cool. Noah Kagan, who owns that company, is like also a super cool entrepreneur. He's all over YouTube, like super fun guy. I can talk about this all day. Do you see me geeking out? I warned you, I geek out over this stuff.
Wow.
Well, we need to do this again. Like I said, I really would love to have you part on my.
I got more wine here, so
yes, you'll have to try something else next time.
I have to try something legitimate. No, you don't like the plastic bottles?
That has wine in it.
It has wine in it, you know? I got to learn from the best here. Yeah, more adventures. I love it. So
absolutely. So people who are like, this is the new year. A lot of people are jump starting into their social media and trying to launch things. What's your like final word of wisdom for people who are starting out in 2022?
Oof. Starting out, I would say, I never say it this way, but I'll say start with your people. Like, just like I've been telling you all night. Yeah. All night. Is it night? It is nighttime. Like, what time is it? I don't know. It's 5:00 somewhere. If you can get the right information to the right people, like just like in real life, like if I told you right now to both of you, call everybody in your network and tell them something, you would be super careful about what you said because your contacts matter to you. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying overthink your social media. You don't want to overthink. I overthink enough for myself. I don't want you to overthink, but like you're literally sending a message to a bunch of people that you love and trust. Put them in a place where you can send them the thing that they want to know. Like say something that's worth something to them. What would you say to your entire network if you could? You could literally do that with your LinkedIn network or wherever your email list, whatever it is that you have them on. The other thing, and I'll end on my favorite social media quote. I wish I had written this, is that social media is about the people, not about your business. Provide for the people, and the people will provide for you.
Ooh, I love it. Good. Words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Shaily, for
You're welcome.
Joining us from beautiful Chicago. We'll have to go there at some point.
You're invited. I'm gonna get you some really great goodness.
We're gonna have some iced tea with wine in it.
You're gonna tell me where to get the good stuff. So
that's it.
So if you guys are real estate investors or even not, and you're looking to get a jump start on your social media, we highly recommend that you get
the Sherpa.
Shaily the Sherpa.
The Sherpa. Yeah, and they can come. There's tons of videos on my YouTube channel, tons of blogs. Like whether they work with me or not, they're gonna learn something. So
definitely
use me as a resource.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Shaily.
You're welcome. Cheers. Thanks for having me. Cheers. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. You don't have any wine
empty.
I'm still working on it.
Little drip.
Yes.
Here you go. I got something there.
There we go.
So that was good, the rosé.
I don't mind this. I'm usually like too sweet, too this, too that. I would say this is good. I recommend it. So it is a bougie can. So it's nice. I don't know. I would guess that you wouldn't hate it. I'm sure you have a very sophisticated palate, but it was not bad.
No, we drink. We're not that picky.
No, we're not picky.
Really? I just assumed you were like a sommelier on the side or something.
Not by. I didn't like wine until I turned 35. So. Anyway,
the bougier you get.
There you go.
You're like, I'm gonna retire early and I'm gonna drink my wine. It's gonna be great.
That was the whole plan.
And you did it. I think you did it right. I saw that. Good for you.
Yes, I quit my job in November 2020, so now I'm job free.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Well, cheers to more adventures and more free time to do the things we love.
Thank you, Shaily.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.